of Prapatti Props. Today in this video clip, Jill and I are going to help you find the most relaxed seated meditation pose. So let's begin. Jill, before we get started, you notice that Jill is actually sitting without support. Her knees are a little bit elevated up away from the earth. Can you tell us how this feels?
Certainly. It feels a little uncomfortable. My ankles are pressing into the ground. And
That's not comfortable.
It's not comfortable. And I feel a little tension in my inner thigh, and I also have a little bit of pain in my back from sitting on the earth without support.
Yeah, and you know that tension in the inner thigh, that will be alleviated when you move the knees closer to the earth and they're resting comfortably. All of that will begin to settle and your spine will move into a more neutral, relaxed position. So the muscles in the body aren't working so hard to hold you. So let's begin. Oh, and if you don't have Prapatti Props at home, don't worry. You just simply need a few magazines and some books, and you can make the same assessment that Jill and I are going to make right in your very own home. So let's begin. So Jill, I'm going to start her a little bit higher than I think she really needs to go. And this is actually a good way to start at home. Start a little bit higher, so stack your books a little bit higher than you think you need to be, and then you're going to proceed to just lower yourself closer to the earth. And while you're doing this, you're simply going to take an assessment along the way, and that's what Jill and I are going to do. All right, so let's start with a butterfly, this pretty little butterfly cushion. It's a 3.5-inch cushion, and so we're going to place it so that Jill can move into this pose once again with a prop this time. So folding one foot in front of the other, and she's going to find herself some comfort. And then, by the way, you want to make sure when you're sitting down on a surface that you move the muscles of the gluteus and the hamstring out of the way. So to do this, you're going to place one hand in your inner thigh area, and you're going to take the other hand and literally hold onto the gluteus, the hamstring, and pull it out of the way. And you'll be able to assess how much you need to do in order to get your sit bones, and that's the idea. You can actually feel your sit bones. They're right underneath. It's what you sit on every single day. So you're gonna find your sit bones and move down onto your surface and make an assessment. So Jill, how does this feel?
It feels better than the floor.
It definitely feels better than the floor.
I still have some tension in my back.
Okay.
I feel like I'm kind of coming forward a little
too much. It's like forcing you forward?
Exactly.
Okay, so that assessment is really good, because if you're at home and you're feeling like your spine is been shifted forward, that's an indication that you might be sitting too high. And I do have a lot of practitioners come to me and say, you know what, I have this pain right underneath my shoulder blade. That's an indication. That pain is trying to tell you might be sitting too high. So what I'm going to ask you to do is move yourself down to the next, just slightly down. And Prapatti cushions come in 1/2-inch sizes. So we're going to move Jill from a 3.5 to a 3, and we're going to take an assessment. So she's going to place herself, and give yourself time to do this. You know, you want to make sure that you are setting it up so that when you find the right height, you're set up for the most optimally relaxed practice. So that's the mission here, is just to simply get the body relaxed so that there's no clenching. So how does this feel, Jill?
This one feels much better.
Much better?
I feel more alignment in the spine. There's an alleviation of stress automatically.
Yeah, and you'll notice that her knees are lower to the ground, her spine's in a neutral, relaxed position, and it probably puts a smile on her face. Mm-hmm. But we want to check, we're going to go a little bit lower, and this reference is perfect. So, you know, just again, going from high down to a lower height will give you the best overall assessment. So let's move on to the smallest, and we're going to move from 3 inches. And again, these cushions come in 1/2-inch sizes. So we went from 3.5 to a 3. Now we're moving down to the smallest Prapatti cushion, which is 2 inches in height. And so we'll give her a moment to reestablish her foundation. How does that feel?
This one feels good. A little more pressure in the ankles again.
Yeah.
I don't think it's quite as comfortable as I could be.
Okay. So that's an indication too. So, you know, if you're feeling a little pressure in your ankles, if your knees are feeling strained, you know what? Pay attention to what your body's telling you, because that's exactly what you need to use in order to assess what's best for you. So I think the 3-inch cushion was best for you. You want to move back onto that and reassess?
Love to.
All right. Perfect. So getting herself situated once again, she's going to reassess. When you get to the right height, I tell my practitioners, my students, when you get there, it'll just feel right to you. It'll feel like an exhale. Your body just melts into place. So how does that feel?
I could sit on this cushion for a while.
High five on that. All right, well, I thank you for stopping by. I am Maria with Prapatti Props. Please subscribe to my channel. If you have any additional questions, please don't hesitate to make comments and ask questions below. I'm happy to address them and offer you an additional support through video instruction. Thanks and namaste.